Hello, I'm Deborah Cedillo-Dugan, and welcome to this week's City Update. Phoenix firefighters respond to more fires on the 4th of July than any other day in the year. And due to the mishandling of many of these fireworks, a new law has been enacted. It's to help regulate when you can use, buy, and sell fireworks right here in Arizona. Fire Captain Tony Muir and Fire Inspector Brian Scholl is joining us today to tell us what this all means. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here today.
Thank you.
Captain, let's start with you. Tell me, how long have you been with the city?
I've been with the city 20 years and I've been a firefighter for over 32 years.
So primarily you do community education, awareness on such matters
Currently,
as the fireworks?
I'm assigned as one of 3 public information officers that respond to large incidents to report to the public of what's going on with the local media sources.
And thank you so much for everything you do for us, too.
You're welcome.
And Fire Inspector Brian Scholl, how long have you been with the city?
I've been with the city for 12 years.
Oh, excellent. Now, you are a civilian, correct?
Civilian inspector, correct.
Now, what does a fire inspector do?
We inspect all the buildings in Phoenix. So all the nursing homes, hospitals, daycares, the grocery stores, every building in the Phoenix, we're in charge of inspecting.
Now, do you have a certain area that you concentrate on, or as soon as a new building's up, or do you have to do it on a periodic?
Either goes by complaints or by periodic inspections. And then we also do the pool abatement program as well. We also are in charge of all the special events that come into Phoenix and make sure those are safe for everybody.
Oh, excellent. Okay, well, thank you again, too, for everything you
You're
do.
welcome.
Well, here today, we are talking about this new fire law. So, Brian, we're going to stick with you for a second. Tell me about this fire law. What does it all mean for our residents?
The new law hopefully will be less confusing than it was last year. Last year, there's a lot of confusion because you could buy fireworks in Phoenix, but you couldn't use them in Phoenix. The new law makes it equal across the board, where if you can buy them in Phoenix, you can use them in Phoenix. So we've tried to come up with kind of like a green light, yellow light, red light type of system to make it as easy as possible for everybody in Phoenix.
Okay, and you're right, it was very, very confusing, especially people that came from out of town. It's like, well, wait a minute, you have a fire law that you can't, do fireworks, but you can buy them. It didn't make sense. So walk us through what this red, yellow, and green scenario is.
Okay, we'll start with the green light first.
Okay.
That means green light means go.
Okay.
So we came up with this green box where it's all the novelty items, your smoke bombs, your sparklers, your snap pops, those type of items. Those are called novelty items, and they're not affected by this law.
Anybody can buy them, and you can use them at any time.
Anyone can buy them and use them
Okay.
anytime.
Throughout the year?
Throughout the year.
Okay.
The yellow light, or the yellow box, is what's permissible only certain times a year. And for those, the sale, and when you can buy them, it starts on May 20th, it goes through July 6th, and you can use them June 24th through July 6th. And those are your ground spinners, your sparklers, your fountains, those type items. And then we go to the red light.
Can I stop you real quick
Sure.
with that yellow light too? So again, and I know this is law, and there was much debate and went through subcommittee back and forth, and of course the governor signed this, but I'm having still a hard time of understanding. The yellow is you can buy, but only during this certain time. Is it just because of celebratory times during that, and that's the only reason?
It's only around 4th of July, and it's also around New Year's Eve. Those are the only times you can actually use them.
Okay. Any other time, Labor Day, Mom's birthday, whatever?
Not allowed, it's illegal.
And if you do?
It's a $1,000 fine.
And who's fining them?
I believe the police department is finding them.
Okay, now let's go to the red. Absolutely never, never do.
The red box is the stoplight, red light, stop. That means they're illegal. Anything that explodes or goes up in the air is illegal. So any of the skyrockets, the bottle rockets, the Roman candles, any of those type items, your firecrackers are all illegal all year round.
You cannot buy them, but are they for sale?
You cannot buy them in the state of Arizona or in the city of Phoenix.
But they're still out there.
Not for sale. So if you were
Okay.
to go out to a store and let's say you were to see one, let's say you saw a bottle rocket for sale at a store, you could always call fire prevention, and then we'd actually would send an inspector out there to see exactly what they're selling. And if what they were selling was illegal, we actually would confiscate it for you.
Okay, we're going to come back to you in just one moment. Let's talk about this red, again, a little bit more extensive, Captain, about the green, yellow, and red. So you're all about public awareness, public education, whatnot. So what happens maybe in the yellow or even the red or even in the green? I mean, some of these are very, very dangerous for our young kids or even adults.
Yeah, I mean, there's injuries across the nations. The National Fire Protection Association did a report back in 2012, looking back over the last 10, 20 years of injuries across the nation. And just dealing with fireworks alone, every year there's approximately 10,000 injuries that are reported across the United States in emergency rooms. Those are actual people going to the emergency room to get treated for an injury caused by a firework. Close to 10,000 a year. They have over 17,000 fires every year attributed to fireworks across the nation. So they're very dangerous, even though the ones in the yellow box are like we have the sparklers that are actually in the green box. The sparklers, we know that water boils at 212 degrees. You bake a cake at 350 degrees. Glass, you can actually melt glass at 900 degrees. Those sparklers are 12 to 1800 degrees. So most injuries happen to children from the ages of 5 to about age 15. And it makes sense, most of the injuries are dealing with hands, arms, face. And so there's a lot of injuries reported across the United States dealing with fireworks. So
even in that green box?
Even with the
those
ones that are accepted, the sparklers. Over 25% of the injuries reported across the nation are dealing with firecrackers and sparklers.
Now, are there a lot, and sparklers, I guess I just was one of those kids that I just never, to me, because they'd spark up and they do one little, and I'm like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I just wanted to stay away from it.
It's a very, very hot, very
quick.
It is.
It's like a little sting.
Fire, steam, just like almost like you're welding, like electrical spark. It's very hot, 12 to 1800 degrees. Can easily catch your clothes on fire, can burn your eye, can burn your retina into your eyes, permanent scarring to your face, and catch your clothes on fire if you're not careful.
And that's a sparkler. How much do you see misuse of fireworks out there, even with the green box that you can purchase those with people or maybe kids maybe playing around or on a joke or whatever?
They've been around forever. I mean, the first law came into effect in 2010. Before that, I remember going back 20, 30, 40 years, there's never been allowed in the state of Arizona. But they would be imported from various states or across the border, and we'd have people having fireworks, and we would have those injuries. So, as we said, if we find them on scene and they were illegal, we'd confiscate them and turn them into the Fire Prevention Bureau.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's go back to this fine, and it's a nice little segue too. So, the neighbor calls. I think the kids down the street have something that's maybe, not legal, and you guys come knocking on doors, or how does that work?
We don't. So let's say you see your neighbor using bottle rockets or something you think might be illegal. Then you'd call the police department's non-emergency number, and they would send an officer out to check it out.
Okay.
And then if you see something in a store, that's where the inspectors would come in and confiscate it if it was illegal.
Okay, and you just deal with the manager straight out and say, hey.
Just deal with the manager straight out, and then we'll issue them a notice of violation saying that these items are illegal and we're going to confiscate them.
Now, the fine you said was $1,000. Is that across the board, or is it
It's across the board. It's a civil fine.
So it could be for a business owner, or it could be for a family member, or it could be for a 16-year-old. It's $1,000.
$1,000.
That's a pretty steep fine.
Pretty steep fine.
We want to keep our folks safe out there, though. Any other, I know you do so many demonstrations too for fire, for the awareness, 4th of July, Memorial Day, all those things, the holidays with barbecues and just having fun. You want to have fun, the pool area. Let's just talk about overall safety and summer.
Okay, well, just, obviously the 4th of July is coming up, but this weekend's Memorial Day weekend. We have triple-digit weathers going on, and a lot of barbecue, a lot of family activities going on, a lot of swimming in pools, and we've had a tremendous increase this first couple months of this year. We've doubled or tripled our amount of drowning incidents already, and we average 60 to 80 water incidents a year, and it's been very dangerous. We had those 2 teenagers drown within 24 hours of each other over on the west side of Phoenix. So we're out having a good time, barbecuing like on any holiday, is we have to watch our children around water at all times. And obviously the barbecue, there's a lot of potential problems of where the barbecue is located. If the fire should get out of control, do you have a fire extinguisher? Can you put that fire out quickly without catching your porch on fire or the side of your house on fire?
Right. So many important messages, especially during the summertime. Anything else you'd like to add about the fireworks safety and the fire law?
And just because these items are permissible, we still recommend not using them at all. Come to a bunch of the events that we have. We have great fireworks shows, and keep your kids safe.
And just remember, even though they're having some of these spinning items that don't launch up in the air, they throw those sparks out. So if you're purchasing fireworks, where do you ignite them? Where do you have them in your backyard? Make sure you're not in dry grass. Make sure you're not up against a shed or up against a house, preferably out in the street or concrete or asphalt or somewhere at least 30 feet away from a building or dry shrubs, so
Or
you
just
don't
be
catch
safe.
something on fire, and just
Yeah.
be safe. As Brian was saying, we'd prefer that you just go watch a professional show and kick back and relax and enjoy that with your family and not even take the risk. Even that smallest little firecracker, even though it doesn't launch up in the air, they've made it illegal in the state of Arizona because of all the injuries.
Right.
I mean, children and adults are losing fingers and severe permanent damage to their hands and to their faces for such a little, teeny little firecracker, but they are dangerous. They do explode.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't buy them, but I've been some people, you know. So thank you both for being with us today. I really appreciate your time, and be safe out there. We love our firefighters and everything you do for our community and keeping us safe. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now remember to use the fireworks chart to help determine if a product is legal or illegal right here in Phoenix. For more information, you can visit phoenix.gov/fire, or you can always call the fire prevention number at 602-262-6771. For City Update, I'm Deborah Cedillo Dugan.